Welcome, everybody, to the Rome Fish Podcast. How's everyone been? Probably freaking good because the weather's been great. Everything's been going well on this side of the state, anyhow. I don't know what's going on in much of the other. But I'm here to do another Tony Flies in updates. So, today I'm going to be tying the same fly that I did last week because I thought I had everything to tie a different fly for this week. And I don't. I don't have the right hook. I thought I did, but I do not. We were going to be tying some woolly bugs, but because I did not prepare correctly, we're not doing that. So what we're going to do is basically Waltz worms like we did last week, except we're going to go pretty tiny. I'm going to do this on size 16 and size 14 hooks, along with some tungsten jig heads. Oh, why is it so tiny? Oops, let's not drop these hooks. Oh, these things are stupid tiny. Definitely can't see that in the camera very well, but they're very tiny. Very, very tiny. But we're going to tie these up. And I think I'm going to use these pink bead heads. These pink, very tiny little guys. But they're tungsten, so they're heavy as can be. Like, surprisingly heavy for the size of these little things. Oops. Okay. All right. So, it is Thursday night. I forget what day it actually is. What day is today? It is August 13th. So this is going to be a pretty good update because this should be dropping tomorrow morning. Okay. So what is going on in the world of Michigan? Specifically like the outdoor world of Michigan. Well, there's quite a bit going on. Yesterday there was an NRC meeting, which a couple of the Rome podcast guys obviously went out to that, as we do monthly. I wasn't able to make it yesterday. That was the first one I've missed in quite some time. Quite some time. Ooh. Oh. Don't know what that was about. Did I just break my vise? Crazy. Okay, let's adjust that a little bit. I didn't break it. It's just that hook was so tiny that it's holding good. That hook was so tiny that I had to readjust my vise so it would actually hold it properly. It scared the crap out of me though, because that thing went flying. And usually when something that tiny and made out of metal goes flying, you lose like an eyeball or something. But okay, yeah. So NRC meeting yesterday. I'm gonna be really quick and kind of short about the NRC meeting portion. That way, if you guys actually want to go and hear more about it, well, now you got to go to the Rome Syndicate YouTube page and get your updates from there. Because we will be posting clips from Wednesday's meeting, onto the Rome Syndicate YouTube channel. And we also go live on that. Pretty much, our goal is to hit every NRC meeting and go live on the YouTube channel. Every meeting. That way, it's a little bit more chewable, digestible for guys like me and you that are unfortunately listening to me. Because I've sat through a lot of those meetings and they get really droning and wah 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 wah, and a lot of political speak and jargon, which is kind of annoying because some of it just doesn't flat out make any sense to normal Joe Schmo like me. So we do our best to interpret, to interpret what they're saying so it's a little bit more chewable, digestible for common guy like me. Then we have funny commentary, like color commentary to it too, just to spice it up a little bit, make it a little bit more lively, enjoyable to listen to, where it's literally not the Peanuts teacher just wah 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 wah. So you guys can actually listen and hear and be up to date on what they're trying to do with your natural resources. All right. So one of the big things I was talked about yesterday, and this is going to just be my little my little teaser for you guys, so you can go to the YouTube and check it out. But they talked about the EASB pilot program, also known as Earn a Second Buck or Earn a Buck. So this is Amendment 7 that they brought up a couple months back, and they asked the DNR to develop a plan for an Earn a Buck program. Okay. Now, stay with me. I know it's kind of a touchy subject for you whitetail guys. I know. They're touching your poor deer and no one likes it, okay? I get it. I'm right there with you. But, so what the DNR came up with is they chose 5 counties that they're going to do this pilot program in. And they kind of were like willy-nilly with what the actual program was going to be. And they kind of ruffled some feathers in the deer hunting community. And, well, we want better answers and we need more specifics. And it sounds like they kind of obliged with the more specifics. A lot of the concern was for this Earn a Second Buck, it was kind of like, oh, yeah, if you go kill a doe in the pilot counties, now you can go to any county in Michigan and shoot a buck. Well, they straightened that out yesterday and said, no, you have to shoot a buck within that pilot county. So you can't just go out willy-nilly. It has to be from that specific county, which is fantastic. That's the way it should be, in my eyes anyhow. And I believe there's quite a few guys out there that are on the same boat as I am on that. So that was pretty good. And I'm going to kind of leave the NRC meeting stuff at that. Because one, I wasn't there. I had other obligations that I had to take care of yesterday. Which, that stuff happens. Life happens. And it's okay because I believe the other 3 Rome guys, the Rome podcasters, they did their thing. And besides that, they're much more knowledgeable on the whitetail stuff than I am. I'm the black sheep of the family. I'm over here all about fish. And don't get me wrong, Skeeter's all about fish too, but he's more knowledgeable on other things that I am lacking in. So he's a little bit more, he's a better tool. No pun intended. Sorry, Skeeter. Love you very much, sir. But yeah, so that's kind of the update on that. Okay. And I actually jumped the gun quite a bit, which is okay. I wanted to get that NRC meeting part out of the way because that's kind of important stuff. That's what we're all here for, right? Is to make sure that our resources are being managed in the proper way. But I got a couple sponsors that I want to talk about. I should have said this in the beginning. Okay. Let's see. First off, I want to talk about 2O Blocker, and a couple other companies that I can't think of off the top of my head that go with that. I specifically want to talk about 2O because whitetail season's coming up, and that's kind of what their focus is like a Western version of whitetail clothing. The stuff's pretty sweet. I've gotten my hands on quite a few bits and pieces of it over the past year or so, and I'm pretty impressed. As far as like their cold weather stuff goes, it's pretty slick, awesome stuff that they got going on. Their merino wool stuff, wonderful. Super sweet. Their camo, it looks cool. I don't know anything about like what the deer can see or whatnot, but I mean, it looks sick, and that's all that really matters, right? Is if you look cool doing it, that's the real key right there. But yeah, so they got that new camo going on. I believe it is out already. Go check the website, make sure, verify, right? Do what I should have done before I started doing this. But for 2O and Blocker, you can use, let's see, code FFRoamOut for 25% off on your order there. You gotta pay attention to what you're getting from there for that code because the code doesn't work on items that are already on sale for obvious reasons, right? Can't give you too much of a badass discount on some sweet hunting clothing, right? So just focus on what you're doing there with that. Honestly, the pricing there is pretty reasonable anyhow. So if it's on sale, you're getting a good price anyhow. All right. And then we got Whitewater. So Whitewater, that's more my alley, right? That's the fishing gear stuff. The stuff that I'm actually 100% fully interested in because that's my area of operation, right? I have I have quite a few there. I have a couple of their sun shirts. I usually wear them at the NRC meetings. That stuff super dope. Love it. It actually fits me. I'm a big dude. 275 pounds currently, and a 3X on me is actually, I got plenty of room, plenty of room. I could probably almost go down to a 2X on their sweaters. And then I also have a pair of their merino wool gloves. Because that merino wool, it's one, super warm, and I'd love to go out fishing during the winter, right? Being in the water in that icy cold river, and you hook a fish, your hands are going to get wet. The cool part about that merino wool is when it gets wet, it actually sheds the water fairly quickly, but even as it's wet, it still keeps you pretty dang warm. And that's what I love about those things. And I like rocking the fingerless gloves because I like to actually be able to feel what I'm doing, right? I'm sure there's more than just me out there that thinks that same thing. Like, I hate big, bulky gloves. I hate it when I'm hunting. I hate it when I'm fishing. For me, there's never a good time for giant, bulky gloves because I actually want to be able to feel what I'm doing, right? Well, these fingerless gloves allow you to actually feel what you're doing, and I absolutely love that about them. And then for that one, that discount code is going to be FF Skeeter 25 for 25% off at Whitewater. So please go there, especially you fishing guys. I need this. I need all the support I can get. I'm being ganged up on by these freaking whitetail guys. They make fun of me and bully me a little bit. So please go to Whitewater, check out their stuff, and if you see something you like, please use that code. And oh shoot, these tiny little bead heads, man, so tiny. Why did I do this to myself? Yeah, go use that code, please. Help your brother out. Make me feel important. All right, hook number 2 set on. All right, let's see. Who else do I want to talk about? I want to talk about Max Rustic Sports Shop in Howard City. This place has been there for as long as I can remember. I've been going there for a very, very long time. And they've always have fully stocked shelves of great, wonderful fishing products. Always. It's one of the things I love about them. Because it's like, oh man, I've seen these before. I kind of want to get them and try them out. Blah, 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 blah. Can't find them anywhere. Ooh, go to Rustics. They usually have it, right? That's how it's always been for me. And I love that about them. And they always have a good stock of rods, reels, beads, anything steelhead, salmon, trout related, walleye. They got it. Not to mention, this is a big thing for me too. They always have a pretty good mix of live baits, whether that be like your minnows or like your worms, things like that. And if I remember correctly, they have shiners, golden shiners, blues, your perch minnows. Um, I want to say, I think they have leeches occasionally as well, and then uh, they have golden shiners too. And I'm sure they have much more than that, but those are usually the things that I buy from there. Because I am an avid ice fisherman on top of the trout fishing and whatnot. And then, obviously, since they're a sports shop, they also have a good selection of bows and guns. Last time I was there, they did have some Latitude Outdoors stuff, a couple saddles, and your tether lines and all that jazz, so you can go Tarzan mode and hang from the trees and be upside down when you shoot your buck or whatever saddle hunters do, right? So Yeah, if you're in the area, check them out. They also have a pretty sweet stock of barbecue supply. That's kind of like a new thing to like the sports shop world, right? You always have like your barbecues and stuff. But what's really cool about this place is they also do deer processing during the hunting season, right? And they got different combinations that you can do. Like you can get your standard, how everyone gets their deer done type thing, uh, not type thing, processing. And then they also do like, your flavored meat sticks, summer sausage, all that cool guy stuff that everybody loves too, right? It's like, who doesn't love a whole bunch of venison jerky? Okay. Need some, a little bit more. That's too much. Let me just. All right. So, yeah, so if you're in the area, please go in, check them out, do the sports shop thing, go in there, say hi, see what they're all about, and hit me up. I want to know what you guys think about that place because that's one of my all-time favorite vape shops to go to. One of the all-time faves, and I hope it'll be your guys' favorite too, honestly. I mean, come on. Okay. And then I'm going to shout out Tony Hill too with Find It Fred. If you make a bad shot on a deer and he goes more than 20, go ahead and call Tony Hill and Find It Fred. They will absolutely get out there and help you find that deer, that trophy buck, that who knows what may have happened. Because I've seen it plenty of times with deer where you get a good shot on it and that mother trucker still decides to run, just forever. They're pretty hardy little animals, and Find It Fred and Tony, they'll hook you guys up. They have a pretty good success rate at finding their deer. Don't remember the numbers off the top of my head, but I have talked to Tony about it a couple times, and he's got some pretty cool numbers, and he's got some very interesting tracks underneath his belts too. It's like he's got some pretty cool stories. So just remember, with hunting season around the corner, can't find your deer, Find It Fred will. All right. Okay. So back to the NRC meeting. I'm just gonna kind of leave it really short. So you guys, you guys got to go to the YouTube channel, check it out. I know it's lame, whatever. It's not gonna hurt you if you guys would have just, subscribed and watched it when we went live a couple days ago. You wouldn't have to hear me talking about it now, which we actually do get quite a bit of people in there chatting away because we read the comments and stuff like that and try to answer questions as we go. And there's a lot of ribbing going on in the comments, people making fun, and it's a good time. It's a good time. Highly recommend if you guys haven't done it, go check it out. It's great. And this is another thing. So we are signing up to do a 5-minute to do 5 minutes at the NRC meeting. If you guys don't know, anyone and everybody can sign up for a 5-minute comment. I believe you have to sign up for that 5-minute comment a week in advance on the DNR or the NRC website, the DNR website. So keep that in mind if you do want to go and say something. And if you just have a busy life and you guys have actual jobs that you need to be at, unlike me and some of your own guys, and you want to say something, you got options there too. You can actually email the DNR directly. You have to just go to the DNR website and you can search in there like NRC email, blah blah blah. Because you can email the board members directly and say, "Hey, what the heck?" or "Hey, I like this. Good job." Whatever. You can talk to them. They're people, and they're actually pretty good at reaching back out to people and talking to them and replying, and it's a pretty interesting thing because it's technically the government. They do work for us, and these people that are actually on the NRC, they kind of do actually want to listen and see what we have to say, and they do have the best interest, our best interest at heart. They try to, at least. Sometimes a little questionable because of government, but it's okay. It is okay. But if you guys want to do that, you can reach out to any of the Rome podcast guys or on Rome Syndicate, or just comment like, hey, how come no one's talking about this? Like, what the heck? This has been going on, and I've never heard anyone speak on it, and blah blah blah. And like I said, we're always going to sign up for that 5-minute chat. And if you guys don't message anything to us, we're just going to say what we want to say, which is okay too. But again, if you guys want to do that, you can either reach out to find the emails for the NRC and message them, or you can message us and we'll bring it up in our 5-minute comment. Or you can show up day of and sign up for a 3-minute speech too. You can always do that. Those ones usually are like the wild, crazy ones that are like way left field, which are enjoyable for me. So feel free to do that if you want to. And then if all else fails, if you don't want to do that and you just kind of want to be up to date on that, always just check in on one of the Rome podcast, Rome Syndicate, whether it be the Rome Syndicate YouTube channel. We try to keep that pretty up to date on everything. And then there's also the Rome podcasters as well. Like I said, you can reach out to us on Instagram, Facebook, wherever you can find us, reach out. We'll try to get you answers. And then obviously another good one to follow, and I believe it's both Facebook and Instagram. It's the_Michigan_whitetail_project. That is Josh Arbogast, or as he's known between the Rome Beefcakes, Josh Arbogast. Like, go ahead, like and follow that as well, and he's pretty active on everything that's been going on with the whitetail stuff. And he's another, like, if you reach out to him and ask him questions, he's going to sit there and answer them, because he's just as passionate as we are about this, if not more. So go ahead, follow, like, comment, whatever the other freaking influencer people say. Do those things. Okay. All right. So no more NRC meeting. I'm done talking about that, which is perfect timing. I just finished my third little guy. I almost took him off without cutting it. Dang, and I don't have my water out here either, and I'm parched. Dang. Okay. All right, for the people watching at home, look how nice that little guy is. I know. Anyone with any camera recommendations for fly tying, please hit your bro up and say, yeah, this, so we can actually see what the heck you're doing. But just take my word for it, that one is pretty fire. Okay. Or whatever the kids say nowadays. Whatever Nate Roosevelt says. Janky G. Willikers. That's fantastic. Sorry, Nate. Actually, I'm not sorry. I love you, though. All right. So, some other things that are going on that you may not be privy to. Okay. One of the big things that's been going on for a while now, that doesn't really pop up all that much. I've seen a couple things pop up about it, and that is the consumer sale of 13 of the hydroelectric dams in Michigan to a quote-unquote company, Confluence Hydro. Okay. So if you guys haven't heard anything about that, which consumers actually came and spoke at an NRC meeting along with the purchasing company, Confluence Hydro company, again in quotes. Yeah, they're trying to essentially, consumers is trying to sell off these 13 dams, which includes all the land that comes with the dam, which I'm sure you guys haven't really realized this or not. But there is a freaking boatload of land that are attached to these dams. Okay. That's an important fact to this sale. Okay. And consumers is trying to sell it to this company, quote unquote company. And I keep saying quote unquote company because it really, really seems like they're a shell company, right? If you guys don't know what that means, Google it. You'll find out and you'll go, oh no, not good. But yeah, do a little bit of research, figure that out, what a shell company is, right? And apparently the plan is to sell those 13 dams to this quote unquote company for $1 a piece. So $13 for all these dams, along with the property and everything that goes along with them. The responsibilities, everything for $1 a piece. Okay. That's what they plan on doing. And then in that contract, when that company, who are they called again? Confluence Hydro, when they buy out, if the sale goes through, when they buy it out, the deal is they have to maintain the dams and they have to repair the dams, get them back up to running capabilities. And like, I don't know if you guys know this or not, but all those dams are so far behind on repairs and everything along those lines. It is ridiculous. It's kind of mind blowing how in some cities, if you don't mow your lawn fast enough, they'll slap you with a fine. But yet somehow these dams haven't passed. They're not able to pass an inspection, and it seems like they haven't really been able to pass that inspection in a long time. But yet it's cool. It's fine. It's totally fine. Don't worry about it. Even though it's a dam. Like this spring, we were concerned about a lot of these dams blowing because of the amount of rain that we got this spring, and that was actually like we evacuated places, and it was a huge to do. But yeah, like, oh, don't worry, we don't need to make sure those dams are inspected yearly and that they pass and they meet, bare minimum laws and regulations and rules. No, don't worry about that. But hey, mow your damn lawn or we're repossessing your house. Anywho. So yeah. And then when that goes through after they get the dams repaired, quote unquote repaired, consumers has to buy every ounce of power or energy that is created by those dams for the next 30 years. Okay. So I don't know about you, but as I'm sitting here tying this little fly, I'm thinking to myself, how is this little company, which has like very little experience in anything, because again, the quote unquote company, um, you know, haven't really been doing this all that long. And the first time they tried to do this with dams, it doesn't really sound like they're successful. So how do they think this is gonna go? But yet somehow it's supposed to save us, the people that use the electricity and the energy. It's supposed to save us money and consumers money, which I don't. To me, the math ain't mathin'. No matter which way I've looked at it, it just doesn't work. But luckily, us Michiganders are pretty, wary when it comes to BS like this because, we've seen a thing or two, and we don't want crap to happen to us anymore. We're kind of sick of it. So currently, everything is kind of being held up in court right now. And if I was reading things correctly, it sounds like a judge said, yeah, absolutely not. It is not within the citizen's best interest, which, wow, cool. Good for him. And it's not good for anybody. And that's about all I've been able to find on it so far. On any new updates, anyhow, I should say. But I believe the governor came out and said something about it too, which, I mean, woo woo. She's out of office this year. Yeah, she can say whatever she wants. It doesn't hold any weight. So, whatever. Like, yay, thank you for saying something, but it doesn't. It's like if I was to say something about it, my word doesn't carry weight when it comes to politics. So, but anyhow, yeah. This is dangerous getting me talking about politics, man. I'm sorry for everyone out there, but I'm sure there's a couple of you that feel the same about it. But yeah, so that's happening. A lot of people are against it, and a lot of important people are against it. So that's good for us, the citizens, the Michiganders, which is lovely. Makes me happy. Okay. All right. So let's see. Is there anything else about the dams that I want to talk about? I don't think so. Yeah, no, there's nothing else I want to talk about. I covered it. Just in case you guys are wondering, I kind of do like a half-ass book report on the things that I want to talk about for these update sessions. And sometimes trying to find something outdoor related is kind of a pain in the butt. And I was really never good at book reports in school. So it's one of those things where maybe I should have tried a little bit harder. But then again, when I was in school, there wasn't such thing as podcasts, so whatever. Oops. For as tiny as these flies are going, or for as tiny as these flies are, that they're actually going pretty good. Usually, the tinier the fly I tie, the crappier it looks, because I have a real bad habit of just adding so much material to them that they're just mongoloids, and like sometimes it's even hard to see the hook point on it, you know. But it'll be all right. It'll be all right. All right. So next thing I want to talk about: invasive species in Michigan. Okay. We got excuse me. Ooh. We got a couple of invasive species around here, right? Everyone knows it. We have more than a couple, being facetious about that. But because I'm in fishing, there's a couple that really annoy me and make me mad. One, zebra mussel. Two, brown goby. Okay. If you guys don't know what those are, zebra mussels, they're the thing that cuts your line all up, it cuts your feet all up, it cuts you. Not only does it cut you and bother the anglers and all that jazz, they're a filter feeder. So they filter the water. And it's like, oh, okay, cool. Makes sense. The water's been like super cool blue waters and whatnot. Yeah, that is kind of neat. I do sort of appreciate that part. But they're actually eating the tiny little microscopic little bugs and stuff that a lot of our native species rely on. Like that's their main source of food as well. And it's kind of jacking up our native species because the zebra mussels are so prolific. Like they reproduce at such a high level. And then one of these little guys, like zebra mussels, if you've never seen them, they're pretty tiny. They're probably like anywhere from like the ones that I usually get snagged up on and reel up on the rocks at piers and stuff. They're like anywhere from a half inch to like 3/4 of an inch long at the widest, right? And they're just tiny little mussels. But one of those tiny little mussels, they can actually filter up to a liter of water a day. Okay, so these little tiny guys, like yay big, right? That's a big one, right? About the size of my thumbnail. Look at if you got big man hands, look at your thumbnail. That's like the size of a zebra mussel, okay? That little thing filters a freaking liter of water. Okay. If you were Farva, that would fully nourish you, right? That's how much that little guy filters per day. And when I snag these things and reel them up, I have like a couple dozen of them bunched up together. So that couple dozen, which those couple dozen bunched up together, they're probably, oh, I don't know, if you were to smush them in your hand, probably a little bit larger than a golf ball. That's 12 liters of water that they filter. And that's 12 liters worth of those tiny little microbes that our native species eat and rely on being eaten by these little invaders. Okay. And not to mention, these little invaders, these zebra mussels, they've been present in the Great Lakes. Let's see. They were first found in Michigan in the late 80s. Okay. The late 80s. That's a while now. I know you're thinking to yourself, oh, that was only, 20 years ago. No, it wasn't 20 years ago. It was a lot later than that. Where did, huh? Yeah, here I am talking about how the 80s wasn't 20 years ago and we're all old and da 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 da. I can't find my stuff. That was just sitting right here in front of me. Awesome. Anywho, so yeah, they were first found in the 80s here in Michigan, and they're found freaking everywhere now. And they came in on the ship's ballast. They get sucked up, right? They get sucked up from other places out at sea, I'm assuming, because they are a brackish mussel, which means they like salty fresh water, essentially, right? It's where the fresh water and salt water meet. That would be like your brackish water. That's where they prefer to live. But they are thriving in the Great Lakes and some of our inland lakes and rivers as well, because they also get stuck on, people's boats that they go boating out in Lake Michigan, and then they don't properly clean it, or they get stuck on shoes and stuff and they don't properly clean their shoes, and then they get drug into an inland lake or river, whatever, blah, 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 blah. Invasive. Yeah, not cool. So, yeah, that's been happening since the 80s, which means there's a lot of them now, because the 80s was a while ago. Okay. And at first, they're like, okay, with these mussels, we'll just go ahead and, scrape them off everything. Whenever we find them, we'll scrape them because they cluster together and they're all in the same areas. We'll just scrape them all up and move on with our lives. Well, they were doing that, but they couldn't keep up. Every time they'd scrape them and get them all together and get them out of the water, they can't scrape up the itty bitty tiny little babies and the eggs, or I don't know if they lay eggs or what they do. But anyhow, the little tiny spawns they can't get, right? So then after area has been dredged, shortly after that, boom, full of zebra mussels again. So not cool. So they stopped doing it because it was kind of just a waste of the resources, the time and the money to go and do it. So they've been trying to figure out a way to actually handle this and make it so it's not eating up all of our native species stuff. And you might be thinking to yourself, like, oh, what's the big deal? Like, so they eat like the same food that our native species eat. There's got to be plenty to go around and this, that, and the other. Well, no, there's not. And you might be thinking to yourself, well, why is it important that our native, you know, little other little zebra mussel, or not zebra mussels, but our other little mussels and other types of small aquatic creatures that eat the microscopic aquatic creatures, why is that such a big deal? Like, are we going to really miss those little tiny guys? Yeah, we are, because it's called a food chain, right? And those little guys that eat the microscopic stuff, that's food for other fish and crustaceans and everything else that lives in the water. And if those things aren't eating because the other little guys don't have food, it snowballs uphill, if you will. So yeah, that's not good. We all should care about that. Okay. We all should care about that because it's a trickle down effect. It affects all the cool stuff. Okay. So they've been trying to figure out a problem they've been trying to find a solution for this problem for a long time. And it's kind of looking like they may have found a solution. But the bastard of it is the answer is yet another invasive species. And now it's not going to be, it's going to kind of be like the wolf thing, up in the UP where they're like, oh, we got this problem, but wolves will solve it, which is the wildest thing I could think of. Like, have you ever had a problem in your life and you're just like, wolves, we need wolves, you know what I mean? But yeah, anyhow, back to the mussels. They didn't decide. They figured out that one of the things that naturally eats zebra mussels in the wild is actually round gobies. Yeah, those little turds who do the same thing that zebra mussels do. They eat up all the little things that are bigger things like to eat, are native bigger things like to eat. And they're also prolific, which prolific means they're really freaking good at like multiplying things. Okay. They're really good at it. They're the best, if you will, or some of the best. Okay. So with that being said, they're like, weird. The goby really like to eat the tiny zebra mussels, and the zebra mussel spawn, whatever that may be. I couldn't figure out what they do. So yeah, but the freaking round gobies, they eat them up. They're like, nom 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 nom. Give me more, please. So the plan is, and this is the other cool part. The round gobies and the zebra mussels, they kind of already hang out in the same areas. Like they thrive in the same types of areas. So the gobies are already there. And yes, they're an invasive species, but they're already invaded. They're here. We're also trying to figure out a way to like deal with those guys. But the fact that we might actually be able to use these guys to take out the zebra mussels, and obviously it's not going to be like wham bam thank you ma'am, one and done type situation. But holy crap, sorry, I don't know if y'all heard that, but my vice let go of the fly I was tying in again. It's a tiny little hook, and I thought I was going to die. But yeah, the fact that we could potentially use these guys to take out the zebra mussels and at least solve that one problem, it's kind of neat. And it's kind of funny that it was like it's taking this long to realize this stuff, because like they do come from the same area. They came into the Great Lakes system the same way through the ballast, right? The ballast in the big ships, the freighters, they sucked them up when they're out at sea or in different places. And then when they came here, their ballast was off, so they offloaded all that water full of all the invaders, came here, same thing. And I'm sure where the gobies and the zebra mussels are naturally found, all the people there are like, well, yeah, like brown gobies love eating the baby zebra mussels. That's what they do. They're really, really good at it, just like breeding and reproducing. They're really good at it. So it sounds like they're going to take their efforts and start dredging out the zebra mussels again and allowing the gobies to come on in and gobble them right up. And I'm sure they're probably going to do it in a couple of specific areas, probably like high density areas for the zebra mussels and the gobies. And because science, they're probably going to do some control areas as well. And yeah, hopefully we can get this freaking problem fixed, because that would be pretty cool. Once we get rid of one problem, then we can focus on what we're going to do with these gobies, because they're not good either. They eat the slightly bigger stuff that our goby sized native species eat. and then our native species get choked out because there's no more food to eat because gobies are really good at producing and eating. And yeah, that's pretty much what I got for updates in Michigan and that are involving the outdoors type stuff, man. Men, gentlemen, ladies, whoever may be listening to this. Yeah, that's all I really got. Mm, yeah, that's legit what I got. So I'm gonna go ahead. I was gonna tie one more. I decided I don't want to tie anymore because these little hooks keep popping off, and it's making me dang near poop my pants. And I don't want to do that either, or take one of these little hooks to any part of this. So yeah, we're gonna call it quits, guys. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for tuning in. Listen to me jabber, laugh at me, and tie these little tiny flies, and look at how horrible they are. I'm just kidding. I got some good ones in there, but like I said, I do love just stacking on the materials and just laying it on. But yeah, and a huge shout out again to the sponsors: 2O Blocker, Yellowstone AI. That's another good one for you whitetail guys. If you don't have your trail cams out, or if you don't have any trail cams at all, highly recommend going and checking out Yellowstone AI. I have a couple of them. I've been a lazy bone. I haven't got any or either of my trail cams out. This is one of the Yellowstone AI guys right here as I hold it upside down. Yeah, look how friggin' sweet that is. They got a whole bunch of stuff going on right now. Different programs you can do. So yeah, go to Yellowstone.ai, check them out, go over everything. I believe we have a code for them as well. I want to say that's Code Chronicles. Let me verify for you, Peach, real quick. I don't know. It's my phone's doing something crazy right now. I don't know what any of this is. Yeah. Okay. I guess I'm not doing that right now because my phone is going crazy on me. It's making me do stuff that I've never had to do before. Oh, there we go. All right. But yeah, so the Yellowstone AI, the photo quality that I've seen is freaking outstanding. A lot better than the old junky style cams, trail cams that I was using. I've never used cell cams, to be honest. I've only used SD. But these, you can run SD. You can also get the data plans in. Yep, Yellowstone AI 15% off. Use Chronicles at checkout. Yeah, these things are pretty dope. The quality's great. I want to say I'm not gonna say what I think the deals are going on. I don't want to be wrong about any of that jazz. But yeah, go check them out. Check the show notes where we're gonna have a list of all the affiliates and the sponsors that we have for the show, along with any discount codes that we have. And I just want to say I appreciate you guys. I love all of you, except for some people. They're just okay. But anywho's, it's hope you all have a great weekend. Go out there, get wet. Bye.